Worthing FC TV with Chris Agutter, looking ahead to this Saturday's National League South match at home against St Albans City. Aggie, your thoughts heading into this one?
Yeah, look forward to league action again. Opportunity to make it 3 wins in a row in the league, and yeah, build on a decent home record.
You were honest with us after Saturday's defeat in the FA Trophy, taking the responsibility as staff.
Yeah.
Obviously, having had a week to reflect on that now, what were your main takeaways from that game?
Yeah, more the same really. I mean, the game should have been done. Perhaps didn't appreciate how many chances we had. And sort of the last in memory was obviously the last 20 minutes. But before then, it wasn't vintage, but game should have been won. But then equally in the last 20 minutes where we looked dead on our feet, we also didn't help ourselves as well. We turned the ball over cheap, and one of the things that we sort of pride ourselves on is obviously having possession of football and dominating the football, and we didn't do that in the last 20 minutes. I think we turned the ball over 31 times in 19 minutes, which was more in that period of time than what we probably have done in 2 or 3 games. So that was just an indication of how we didn't help ourselves, and the game just become really transitional end to end, and you couple that with a group of players that on a run of Saturday, Tuesday for a few weeks and have performed so brilliantly for us and worked incredibly hard for us, and overdoing it the Thursday before it sort of just meant that the last 20 minutes was very forgettable. But, we'll learn from it, and we've had a really good week on the training pitch, and the lads are in a really good place, and as I said, we're trying to make it 3 wins on the spin in the league.
Yeah, you're coming into this one off the back-to-back league wins, and with 3 home fixtures over the next 4 games over the festive period. How important is it that this run, especially playing at home in front of the home supporters?
Yeah, I mean it's something that you've always sort of tried to pride yourself on, as your home form. I think that's the sort of foundation to any successful team, and every team that I've sort of been fortunate to have success with, you're very good at home, and if we can continue what we've done in the league at Woodside, I think we're looking forward to a really positive Christmas period.
Looking at Saturday's opponent, St Albans, you were obviously full of praise of them earlier this season. They've obviously had a change of manager since then as well. How do you assess them as opponents this Saturday?
I think luck's deserted them a little bit. I think they've been dealt quite a cruel hand. I mean, you watched a lot of games, and when the ball goes inside the post for the opposition, it could go outside the post. You know what I mean? For them, I feel like they've been on the receiving end of some really difficult decisions as well. So I feel for the previous manager, Nobes. I think they were a decent side when we played them, and as I said, we've watched a lot of their games, and I feel for them a little bit. So I'm not sure their league position does them justice by any stretch. As I said, like with the decisions they've been on the receiving end of, I mean, we benefited from one down at their place earlier in the season where Cookie steamrolled, I think it was Sean Jeffers, and we got away with one. So, they've obviously changed manager, and the games that he's taken charge of, we've obviously watched. And I mean, the Bournemouth game in midweek, it looks like a straightforward win for Bournemouth, but it wasn't. For an hour of that game, I thought St Albans were good value for at least a draw. So. We know it's going to be tough. We know they've got real serious goal threat in Jeffers and Charles. They've got quality in deeper areas like Rizzulo and these guys. So they're a threat, and we'll be really conscious of that. But equally, we'll go into the game knowing that we're if we're at our best, which we've been producing some pretty decent performances of late, especially at home. So if we continue on that sort of upward trajectory in terms of performances, it's going to take a very good St Albans performance to take anything from Woodside.
Looking at the team you have available on Saturday, one potential debutant could make his debut against his former club, actually, Joe Partington, an addition this week. A few words on him?
and from the first game of from the second game of the season, sorry, against St Albans, I really liked Parts. When we was prepping for that game, I thought he was a very good player. I know him from Aldershot as well, so yeah, we're delighted to bring him in. And as I said, the big thing is he'll have more quality on the pitch. He'll fit into the way that we want to play, but equally he'll help us as a group with his experience, and I think he'll help the likes of Joel and these guys that, as I said, very good leaders in their own right, but he'll certainly add to that.
And then the rest of the squad, just an injury and suspension update, please.
Yeah, so extensive, unfortunately. So Joe Cook doesn't look great, so he's a doubt for the weekend. Tommy Willard will not be available for the weekend. Mo Fowle will not be available for the weekend. Nicky Wheeler will not be available for the weekend.
Taking them off.
Yeah, just going through the squad numbers in my head. Jack Bates is a doubt for the weekend. So yeah, so there's a healthy list there that are unavailable, but like I always say, it's we'll play the hand we've been dealt, and we're very happy with the squad. Obviously bringing Parts in is great, but we're not. We believe in what we've got, and like Cookie's come out the side, but Sam Packham's been very good. I mean, when Glenn Ray's obviously got suspended, we shuffled the pack a little bit, and Spongy played deeper. I think Spongy's been probably, him and Beardy have been our best player over the last sort of 6 weeks, between him, Beardy, and perhaps Nicky Wheeler. So we won't lose too much sleep over it. Like young Arthur Gregory's been very good with the youth team and continues to do really well with the first team. Cooper Renzulli, Freddie Chester, these guys. Under 18s, but they're training with the first team full time. They look very good. So there's a few. I mean, I watched the 18s on Tuesday night against Eastbourne Borough. It's a real advert for the club's academy and the quality of coaching that's going on through the pathway. And from a first team perspective, it makes our life so much easier, because when you do have the injury list that we do, or the players unavailable or doubts, it gives you real confidence to go and get the next one. I mean, I could reel off countless names. Young Erie, he's another one from the youth team, he's a very good player. Ollie Vodden looks another very good player. Dylan Walter, he's scoring goals as well. So there's plenty of reinforcements there for us if needed.
And just quickly on those names you mentioned out injured this weekend, are there any longer term concerns in that group?
We've had a couple that have gone for scans, so Cookie and Tommy Willard perhaps aren't progressing as quickly as we would have liked, and especially with such a busy period coming up. We need to make sure that when we do get them out on the pitch, they're going to stay out there, rather than like it's happened a little bit with Cookie, where he's bounced in and out at the physio room, which is obviously really disappointing, because he's been very, very, very good and has played a key part in us getting to where we are in the league. So, but the medical team do a great job. I mean, Stretch and Ollie and Co are superb. So, they'll look after them, and I'm sure they'll be back in no time.
Thanks, Eddie.
Cheers, Jack.